I'm very proud to be here, especially in such great company. I'm part of the Antenna family, as you heard, but where I spend most of my time is introducing this truly great project that has touched me personally in Greece. And the project is Thrive Global. Instead of diving into the details and the specifics of the program, I think it would make more sense for you guys to learn why we're doing it, because the mission is what takes us to work every day. The world is in the middle of a transformation, and I think more and more of you are realizing that every day. It's an era of connection known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution. It's a time of continuous automation, of more automation, of constant connectivity, and of accelerated change, where the Internet of Things will meet the smart factory. But it's also a time that fuels what's called the global epidemic of stress and burnout. And it's making clear that the way we work and the way we live just doesn't work anymore. That's why we created Thrive Global, to change the way we work and live by shattering the collective delusion that burnout is the price to pay for success. The good news is that the science supports it. The science clearly shows that when we prioritize our well-being, our decision-making, creativity, performance, and productivity improve. There's no question that technology has allowed us to do amazing things. It has literally changed the way we run our lives. At the same time, though, it has accelerated life at a pace that it makes it very hard to cope for most of us. Let's admit it, we're addicted. And the things are getting worse by the day. We are being controlled by something that we should be controlling. Thrive Global is committed to helping us make the necessary changes in behavior that will allow us to live successful lives in the long run. This situation with technology is what the famous Belgian philosopher called the civilization disease. As you can imagine, this is not a local problem, it's a global problem. It affects everyone around the world. And as a global problem, it's something that requires a global solution. If you don't believe me, take off your mobiles, not now, and just Google, why am I? And the first result is so tired in auto-completion. The second result is so tired, again, in auto-completion. I will just give you some numbers to understand the magnitude of the problem and why we decided to do something about it. Employees worldwide say and are the 87% of them not engaged with work. In very advanced economies like the US, Germany, the United Kingdom, Canada, sleep deprivation, according to a recent study by the RAND Corporation, costs $680 billion a year. In emerging economies like China, the recent study showed that the stress levels among senior managers have reached new heights, and 60% of them face insomnia and other sleeping disorders. In India, another booming economy, 8% of the workforce feels that the workplace is very stressful, and 60% of Indian managers are thinking of quitting their jobs because of how stressful things have become. In Japan, which I guess for all of us, especially the Greeks in the room, is the archetype of an efficient and productive economy, the burnout epidemic is so bad that they have even invented a word. The word is karoshi, and it means death by overwork. And Greece is also not immune to this situation. It's not immune to the burnout epidemic. According to a recent study, Athens, my city, is the most stressful capital in the European Union. And according to a study that happened a few days ago, 50% of the responders, all employees to corporations, said that their mental health hasn't been good for the past month. And if you look at the hard statistics produced by the state, the prevalence of serious mental health problems like stress has doubled in the past 5 years. Greece is, of course, the use of technology in Greece is in line with the rest of the world. We all know about the lure of social media for teens, but we all also know about the growing body of evidence. You must have heard it. The technology companies are now trying to help us limit how we use our devices. Because science is clear that overuse of technologies and of things like social media leads to depression and anxiety. Even though these type of things that I just discussed are the same, the effects of burnout are the same around the world, the traditions that countries can take elements from to nurture well-being in their populations are quite unique. And this is an area that Greece has a lot of things to offer. In fact, many of the principles of Thrive Global come from ancient wisdom. You guys know these things, but in ancient Greece, philosophy was not an academic exercise as it is today. It was a tool that answered practical questions, the important things in life, like what makes the good life. What does success really mean for a person? What does success mean for a person? And the amazing thing is that 2,000 years later, science is proving what the Stoics really discovered in the 3rd BC when they had their answer. That while we cannot control what happens externally, we can control what happens internally, the way we respond to situations. And if we manage to achieve this, then we're going to be able to take back control of our lives and become more successful in the long term. The companies that realize that are going to be the winners of the future. You can't expect to run a company with working principles in the 4th Industrial Revolution that are the same with the ones in the 1st Industrial Revolution, where any downtime, any free time was just time that wasn't being monetized. If there is one thing I want you guys to remember from this presentation, is that well-being is no longer a perk. Well-being is not an add-on. It's a core business skill that should be taught as part of the curriculum of anything that you do. It's a competitive business advantage. And more leaders are realizing that. Our clients internationally range in just 1 year from companies from Google all the way to banking giants and consulting companies. And that it's really not about balance. We've been operating under the wrong premise for too long. It's not about work and life. It's not about well-being and performance. These two concepts are not on different pages. They are on the same side, and they rise in tandem. You increase the one, and then the other one increases too. That's why Thrive Global is not focused in balance, it's focused in cultivating both. And that's why we created Thrive Global. That's why we started our international expansion from Greece. It's the first time that such an innovation launches in Greece instead of another country outside the United States. And why I'm here today, to provide you and to businesses specific, concrete, science-based, and easy-to-implement tools and strategies that will help you become more productive and truly thrive. Before I close, I want to give you a glimpse of the most popular element of our program, which is a daily workshop that teaches you everything you need to know to be successful. It's not an accidental choice. It's what made Thrive in just 1 year the global leader in corporate wellness programs. May we see the video, guys?
One of the most influential women in technology and media is now preaching the ultimate key to success is sleep. Ariana Huffington, co-founder of the Huffington Post, has launched a new venture called Thrive Global.
After my own collapse from sleep deprivation and exhaustion in May 2007, I became more and more passionate about the connection between well-being and performance. The way we're working is not working. We see the evidence all around us: exhausted employees, broken company cultures, and the collective delusion that burnout is simply the price we have to pay for success.
That's where Thrive workshops come in. If I said to you, I can tell you one thing today that will improve your performance 29%, would you be interested? Our full day and half day workshops, as well as digital webinars, are carefully designed to help your people thrive.
Using the latest behavior change science to help companies achieve better business outcomes.
So if we're already exhausted and burnt out and then a crisis happens, we are not going to handle it well.
Starting with fundamentals like sleep, nutrition, exercise, how to improve focus, and how to find meaning in their work.
Participants come away armed with Thrive's signature microsteps, small, science-backed steps they can incorporate into their lives today.
How many of you like to be smarter in your decision making? Come on, all of you raise your hands. Some of you guys are real bad.
We've developed really powerful ways to sustain the culture change of the workshop in the form of newsletters, coaching calls, and digital solutions to allow the entire company to go from awareness to action.
The most forward-thinking, results-oriented leaders have come to see that prioritizing well-being isn't some kind of luxury or add-on. It's essential to the company's success. At Thrive Global, helping to achieve these goals is our mission and our passion, and we can't wait to get started.
Thank you, guys. Feel free to reach out anytime to discuss possibilities. Have a wonderful rest of the day.